Hi guys, Madeline Harvey here. Thank you for checking out my channel today. Hey, if you like today's video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up or click the subscribe button below. I'd love to see you here more often. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the 3 really big, really common mistakes that beginners make on stage. But you don't have to. No, you don't. Because I'll give you some pointers that will allow you to be prepared for when you're ready to take the stage. You ready? Here they are. Number 1 is advertising your mistakes. Number 2 is a messy mix. And number 3 is lack of endurance. So let's start with number 1, advertising your mistakes. This one is really big, and it's the one that makes me the most crazy because it ruins the experience with the singer and with the audience. So as an audience member, I'm there, I'm enjoying the performance, I'm feeling the moment, and all of a sudden this kind of face happens where it seems like the performer just like stuck their finger in a light socket. They're like, It's like they're in pain. And that's it. The magic is absolutely over for me. All I know is that they just made a mistake and they just told me all about it. So don't advertise your mistakes. Sure, stuff's gonna happen on stage. It's absolutely bound to, but recover. Don't let your mistake steal your spotlight. The crazy thing about tension is it draws attention. So if your face kind of like flinches like you're in pain, if your body kind of like tenses, you can absolutely bet your biscuits and gravy that that's all the audience can see. So what's the solution? Well, it's your body, right? So take command of it. Own your experience. A great way to practice that is by using a mirror in your practice. Your mirror will let you know what your body is doing. You can look at your eyes for the performances. You can watch your face, not to be critical, but really just to see, are you doing that every time you make a sound that you don't necessarily enjoy? Or are you dropping your energy, throughout your performance and just kind of going through the motions? The mirror will let you know what you're doing. Another really great way that you can practice is by videotaping each take and really reviewing it, take after take after take. I love working in this way because I get to see, what choices did I think were effective or ineffective? What did I feel like I was doing? And did it translate into the performance? So using a video camera to record each performance will also let you know if your performance is effective or ineffective, or if you're giving any clues as to advertising your mistakes. Okay, so that's number 1, advertising your mistakes. Number 2 is a messy mix. Now, this is really more geared for people who are in bands or perform with instruments on stage or at, a live venue. And what I mean by a messy mix is when the audio levels are set to favor the instrument over the voice. So you can probably imagine where this might be a problem because the human voice is not capable of overpowering a full band. It's crazy. The singer can't hear themselves. They're freaking out and they're screaming, trying to overcompensate for the crazy room acoustics. Now, if you're a drummer or a guitarist and you're like, well, I want everyone to hear, my solo or my improvising guitar riffs later on in the set. Well, we want to hear it too. We want to hear all of that. But you've got to remember that singing songs is all about telling stories also. It's really frustrating for the audience if they can't understand, what the singer is saying. And when the audio levels are set to favor the instrument, or set higher than the voice itself, all that we're hearing in the audience is a really muddied, noisy noise. And again, it's really frustrating because we can't understand what the singer is trying to say, okay? So what can you do? Well, take your time with your sound check. And please, for the love of the Muffin Man, don't skip it. please take the time to do it. Set those levels where each instrument can be heard as well as the voice. If you're lucky enough to have a really great sound engineer, whether through the venue or as a part of your band, please go out of your way to make this person so happy because they're making everybody sound really good. But if you're in a band and you're just starting out and everybody does a little bit of everything, take the time to do that sound check and to set those levels. And once they're set, nobody touch them. Like once you get that balance, nobody touch them. If each performer needs to hear their individualized, performance on stage, a really great thing to invest in is some form of monitor system, whether that's on the floor or in the ear. Floor monitors can be really helpful, but they can also kind of complicate the acoustics on the stage, meaning it can kind of mess with the way that everybody's hearing everybody. So I would really recommend a good set of in-ear monitors. This really allows everybody to hear kind of an individualized blend of their own performance in one ear and then the mix in the other. So they can make any adjustments that they need to make right there in the system. What me and my husband use, plug, is the Rolls, the personal monitor station. It's the PM351. And this just kind of clips right to that mic stand and we plug our little earbuds in there. This really allows us to be able to make any adjustments that we need to make. So if you're a singer, you can hear your voice in one ear and again, the overall mix in the other. That way you don't have to overcompensate for any crazy room acoustics. But I really recommend investing in some form of monitor system and utilizing it every time you practice. Don't wait, for a gig to kind of figure out what your sound levels need to be. Get used to working with those details. That way you can recreate the same experience when you're in a live venue. Okay, so that's number 2, messy mix. Number 3 is lack of endurance. I notice this a lot in, really talented singers, really great singers, but singers that tend to lack or not necessarily have really good vocal habits. By that I mean, again, that they sound awesome. They sound really, really good, but they're lacking that fundamental muscle memory for really great, healthy support. And everybody knows that really great support is the foundation of really great singing. So if you're lacking that, you might feel really winded, really strained, and just overall really tired by the end of your set, just due to the demands of the music itself. So if you notice that your voice is like really froggy or really strained, or you gotta squeeze your voice to create any sort of speech after you've been singing for an hour or two, this is really not good. You may have swelling on your vocal cords, which can later on contribute to some really nasty vocal injuries. So the solution there is practice. But don't necessarily run through your set list like a million times with the biggest, fullest voice you can muster. Break it down. Develop some really good vocal habits, some really good vocal technique. A lot of people think that if they were to polish their voice with some really great technique, they may lose a lot of those characteristics that they find really authentic in their voice. And that just simply won't happen. Good vocal technique is invisible. It's there to allow you to express yourself, but also keep you safe and supported at the same time. So if you're asking yourself, okay, that sounds great, but where do I get started? Well, please feel free to visit my website at MadelineHarvey.com. There's a really great page. It's called Downloads. And on that page, you can actually choose which area of your vocal technique that you would like to work on. If you've really resonated with some of the things that I was talking about a minute ago with the lack of endurance, then I recommend you choose a portion of lessons that are called Endurance and Stamina for Singers. There are 6 really great lessons there that will get you well on your way to keeping your voice safe and increasing your support and your endurance. Okay, so there you have it, guys. The 3 really big, really common mistakes that beginners make on stage, but you don't have to. Number 1 is advertising your mistakes. Number 2 is a messy mix. And number 3 is lack of endurance. I hope you found today's video super helpful. Please feel free to give it a thumbs up or click the subscribe button below if you did. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.